All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, internet. I hope the sound is working. The mic, yeah, seems to be working just fine. So we're good on that front. Okay, so I keep saying this, but I'm gonna try and keep this under 2 hours. Hopefully. Wow, someone's honking. I hope you didn't hear that. But yeah, so we'll finish work on our API, bars.lol API. And if you remember last time, we tried to we used CloudFormation to essentially bootstrap all the DNS infrastructure for the API. We struggled a bit, so now I'm just going to quickly and briefly show you how I fixed the situation. And just to prove to you that it works, we're going to do a good old curl -s on https://api.bars.lol/v1/random, and hopefully we should get a response. Yep, we do. So the way I did this, if I go back here, nope, that's not it. If I go to infra.cf, right, so we had an issue whereby we would recreate the hosted zone all the time, and then the TLS certificate wasn't validating. And the reason why it wasn't validating is because I forgot to add the subject alternative domain name, and so to the resource definition, and we completely forgot to use it here. And so I did a few tweaks. The first one being that, if you can see here, it's using resolve SSM bars hosted zone ID. So I took the hosted zone ID that I created manually, and I stored it in the parameter store. And so I'm essentially just referencing it using that syntax. I've looked it up in the docs, and so you can, that way you can have sort of dynamic parameters like that. So so we create a certificate, right? Certificate's created. We then create a custom domain name for our API gateway, and then we specify the certificate that we had just created here. The next step is to create a record for the API, and this is going to go to, given the hosted zone ID, it's going to go and then set the alias target to the distribution domain name of bars of our domain name that we created here, and then we pass it the distribution hosted zone ID. And you have to be careful, because the hosted zone ID in alias target is not the same as the hosted zone ID for the actual hosted zone. So they're different. Attributes. Now give me a second, because somebody's just throwing glass bottles in the recycling bin, and it's doing it's making a whole lot of noise, and I don't like that. So let me just close the window really quickly, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back, and so yeah, so as I was saying, we're creating the A record for the API for the domain name, right? And then once we do that, we end up with sort of a working DNS record, and then we create a base path mapping that essentially maps v1, so api.bars.lol/v1 to our v1 stage here, because if we don't do that, then we couldn't access it. We can access it like this. We would have to access it like that. I don't like this. I want v1/ to be part of the thing, and so to be part of the URL. So it works now. As you can see, it works. And then I guess this is it for the front end, for the back end, right, for the API. Also, I had to tear down the API that we had working in the previous streams, and I redeployed everything in the US East 1 zone. I didn't make I don't think I've made changes to the GitLab CI. I don't know if I've shown this, but I've added a no confirm change set to avoid failure. And then I created, where is it? I added these scripts to avoid errors. Otherwise, just it just wouldn't build. So I again added those. I added the libffi library. I upgraded pip, and I guess I just install the CLI and the SAM-cli. I've commented out the unit test stage for now. We will be adding unit tests and just testing in general in the future. Just have to get around, because I've looked it up. It's going to need quite a significant change to the code. It's going to require me to change the code and use the interface, because they provide interfaces, and this is good for mocking, so we can then mock our calls to DynamoDB and stuff like that. So we'll do this eventually, but at the minute, because we don't deal with sensitive information, we don't deal with it's very basic API, so it's not urgent. And really, I mean, this was just an exercise in AWS more than sort of software development, but it's always a good thing to test your code and have as high code coverage as you can. So that's why I haven't deleted it. I've just commented it out just to remind myself that I'm gonna have to make those changes. But because I have tons of other projects that I wanna get out the door, I'm gonna have to put that to the side. So that's the back end done. Now there's the front end, and so for the front end, initially I was going to go with a very basic, very minimal, bare bones HTML site, essentially one index.html file with a CSS file, and that's it, end of. But then I thought, I'm going to use Astro, because everybody's talking about Astro.js or whatever. So I created a different repository, and I used and I installed Astro, I think it's astro.build. Yep, astro.build, and I used this. So presumably it's the fastest JavaScript JavaScript static site generator, and it doesn't apparently doesn't generate JavaScript or whatever. So it's supposed to be very fast and good for SEO and stuff like that, which is good, because I don't want to have to fiddle around with server-side rendering and stuff like that. The less JavaScript I have to write, the better. So yeah, so I've got it working, and if it's running, so I should be able to go to localhost 3000. Yep. So as you can see, it's a very basic one page. I did the styling myself, so excuse the poor CSS skills. So yeah, so it's very bare bones. You've got an overview, and then you've got a list of the different parts and blah blah blah. You got a sample request, and then you've got a sample response, and that's it. So yeah. Well, now the sort of the goal for today is going to be to take this and then get it to, because right now we can access api.bars.lol, but if we do bars.lol, well, we get nothing, right? So we need to sort of deploy this and then set it up to be to point to our domain. Again, I did a bit of research, and it turns out you can't use HTTPS with S3. So you can create a static website with S3, but you can't use HTTPS. You have to use CloudFront. in front of it, a CloudFront distribution, and then point that CloudFront distribution to S3. So this is what we're going to do, and we're going to use Terraform, not Terraform, we're going to use CloudFormation for this. Let's go to the console, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to the console, right, and then actually, what am I doing? Can I zoom in? Thank you. Let's go back to 0, and then I'll zoom in, right? Okay, so the idea is going to be to not CloudWatch. Where am I? Where's CloudFront? Right. So I'm going to have CloudFront in one tab, and then I'm going to pull the what's it called? CloudFormation. What is it? Do we have? Let's see. Yeah, Route 53 hosted zone. And then we're going to pull the CloudFront template reference. CloudFront. There we go. Okay, so we're going to have this in one tab, and the CloudFront console in another one. And we're essentially just going to create, in fact, let me just create the file now. So it's going to be template, I guess. Let's go with template.cf. Nah, let's call it infra. I like infra. Infra.cf.yaml. What does ours look like? Yeah, like this. I'll do this. Whoops. Copy that. And that's going to be UI infrastructure. Do we have parameters? Do we have parameters? We'll do blah for now, and then we'll do, was it default hello, just so that it doesn't scream at us. And then type is going to be string, I guess. Is it string like that? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. We'll just comment everything out. We're not going to bother with this for now. So let's go to CloudFront distributions. I've got no distribution, so we'll click create. And essentially, the idea is to translate whatever's in the GUI into a CloudFront resource. So, okay, so distribution, right? Let's go to YAML to declare this entity in your AWS CloudFormation template. Use the following syntax. All right. So it takes a distribution config and return values. Okay, we'll copy this. Let's copy this. So I'm going to copy this. Nope, we're going to pull the description, and we're going to copy this. So this is going to be our bars CloudFront distrib. Enabled what? Hey there, Juvial. Welcome to the gang. Introduce yourself in the chat. So default cache behavior. Why is it screaming at me? All right, we'll just, I guess we'll just comment this out for now. Right, we'll comment this out, and then okay, so immediately I can see that it's divided into sections. So origin, default cache behavior, function association, settings. So if you go back here, I think I saw, yeah, you see cache policy, blah blah blah. continuous deployment policy. So it function, origin access control, blah, blah, blah. So okay, so it sort of matches what we have on the GUI. So we'll go with this. So origin, let's see what we have with origin. Distribution, no. Maybe distribution config, type distribution config, okay. Oh, all right. Okay, so we've got all of this. So let's see. Aliases, cache behaviors, CNAMEs, origin groups, origins, right? So it's gonna have to be it's gonna, oh yeah, missing property, distribution config. Okay, so we'll have distribution config enable. Let's see, enable, what does that mean? Do we have something about enabled? You can enable or disable the selected distribution. Well, required, so I guess we'll say true because we want it to be enabled. Default cache behavior, we're not going to worry about that for now. So it's enabled. Oh my god, okay, fine. CloudFormation. Oh, hang on, let's see. Yeah, so it's looking for an S3 bucket. So we have to create an S3 bucket first, right? So let's go back here and then search for S3. S3, Amazon S3. Boom. Bucket. There you got bucket. Again, let's flip that to YAML. All right, bucket. Let's look at examples. Deletion policy retain, YAML, replication configuration. Oh, that's a lot of that's a static site. No. Course, no. We're not gonna worry about course because I suppose CloudFront is gonna handle the request for us. Manage the lifecycle, log access, receive bucket notification, no. Versioning. I would just need a very basic example. Okay, we'll create an S3 bucket. I guess that's what we want. So, resources. We're gonna take this. Oops. We'll copy that right here. In fact, we don't need a resources tab. We'll go UI bucket, bars UI bucket, deletion policy retain. Nah. And then this is going to be called bars lol front end, because they have to be unique, right, for amongst all accounts and stuff like that, so we have to be careful with that. Okay, then let's see the properties, the return value, sorry. When you pass a logical ID of this resource to the intrinsic ref function, ref returns the bucket name. Right, so we may need this. In fact, we are going to need this when creating the bucket. So well, first let's see if it works, right? So let's just see. Let's do alias cf, and then let's do, I think I did cf deploy, right? So the template file is this. The stack name is going to be called bars lol UI, and again US East 1. And this is crucial because the certificates, when you create a certificate, oh, I forgot to say this, one of the reasons why it wasn't working too is because the certificate, so you can create certificates in all regions, right? But for the API domain name, when we add the TLS certificate, it's looking for a certificate in US East 1, and my stack was deployed in EU West 3 in is it London? No, it's Paris. So I had to essentially, because I mean I could have solved it without deleting my existing API, but I just decided, you know what, I got rid of the entire thing and redeployed in US East 1 to have everything sort of in one region, just to make things easier. So yeah, let's go back here. Okay, so we have created a stack. So if I go now to S3, no, actually, let's go back. I have it in my bookmarks. Yep, S3. We should see our bucket created. Yep, balls lol front end, and it's been created in US East 1, Virginia, North Virginia. Is it North Virginia? Yeah. Okay, so that we know it works, so that's good. So now we can go back to CloudFront, right? So you got a distribution, and we need to set up the origins, right? So if we do this, let's see. Let me refresh to see if it picks up on the changes we made. Let's see. So okay. So now it appears we can do this. Origin access. Bucket must allow public access. Now we don't want that. Bucket can restrict access to only CloudFront. Okay. So that's the recommended way of doing it. So bucket can restrict access to only CloudFront. Let me zoom in again. Bucket can restrict legacy access identities. Use a CloudFront origin access identity to access the S3 bucket. Update the S3 policy. I can't. Should we do this? Origin access control settings. CloudFront will provide you with the policy statement after creating the distribution. And in that, if we use that option, we can just say this. You can say yes, update the bucket policy, and it's going to do it automatically. And we have an access identity, I guess. Oh no, that's the one I created for a different bucket. So if we do this, we can click and create. Well, I guess if we have, let's look at the S3 documentation. Is there something about policy? Let's go back up here. Let's look for policy. Policy. Right. Bucket policy. Also, there is a. Okay, so there is a bucket policy. Okay. The following operations are related to bucket policy. Okay. Let's look at it in YAML. Okay, so we're going to need to somehow get the bucket policy. All right, so now, okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the recommended thing. So we'll do this, right? And then because this sort of returns the bucket policy, we'll pull that and then use it and then pass it. So create a bucket policy after that, and then update the S3 bucket because we already created it here. And so then we can do ref S3 bucket, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we've created the bucket policy. So what do we need now? So we're going to need an origin domain, origin path. We don't need that. We can add a name if we want, and then we'll do this. But of course, we need to create control settings. So origin access control settings. So let's see. We need to go back to the CloudFront. Yeah, CloudFront. Okay. Origin access identity. Origin access control, that's the one. Okay, so origin access control, YAML, and it takes an origin access control config. Okay. So again, let's do YAML. So description, name, origin access control, origin type, signing behavior, and signing protocol. So let's open the pop-up again. So name, description, signing behavior. Is it? I think it matches, right? Yeah, name, description, signing behavior, and access control origin type. And that's media store S3. Okay, so we'll take that. Let's go. Actually, let's go back here. We'll take this. We'll copy it. So before we create a distribution, we're going to create the origin access control object. Hang on, we need to give it a name, right? Shouldn't we? Yes, we should. Nope. What am I doing? Please, Vim, stop taking it. I was going to say taking the piss, but I probably shouldn't do it on. Shouldn't say that on stream. Bars. OAC conf, whatever, right? So there's origin access control, and this is going to be, I think, name, and name is going to be, let's call it bars all OAC. Description is going to be OAC config for bars.lol. What was it? Let's go back. Signing behavior, I think. Signing behavior. Signing behavior. What was it? Boom. Signing behavior. Always signs all origin requests. Never, no override. I think it's, yeah, sign requests, so it's always. I'm gonna say always. And what was the other one? Origin type. Access control origin type. And we're gonna set that to S3. Signing protocol. Okay, what's the signing protocol then? I suppose it's, what's the signing protocol? SIG v4. Well, there's only one allowed value, so there we go. SIG v4. So again, I'm curious to see if it's actually going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy this again. Not DC. We'll do CF. This blah blah blah, and then we'll deploy that. We'll refresh the CloudFront page, and then I want to see if this oh, hello. Oh no, that's not the one. Did I play with this before? I have no recollection of having done that. Oh, maybe I did when I was learning, when I was studying for the AWS exam. Okay, so we'll wait for this to complete. I want to see the CloudFront policies, functions, blah blah blah, security, origin access. Oh, okay. Can we? I think we can create them here. Boom, Basel OAC. So it's been created. Oh, so we've left the page, unfortunately. Let's go back. Okay, so it's been created. So now we have, so if we go back here, we do blah, and then we do yeah, OAC, and now we can do that. But we're gonna have to manually, unfortunately we're gonna have to manually do it. But we don't have to despair. We'll continue. So origin domain, so we can do the origin thing now, because we've got all the information we need. So it's enabled. Target origin ID, I don't know. We'll comment that for now. We'll do origins. Property origins is not allowed. Is it not? Is it not? I think you're lying. Let's go back to CloudFormation distribution. Or is it distribution config? Yep, there we go. My distribution config, and so it's S3 origin, origins. A complex type that contains information about origins for this distribution. Well, actually, let's look at examples first, because I want to see. Let me do YAML. YAML distribution config origin. Boom. Custom origin, default root object, it's S3 origin. Property description not available. Type legacy. We probably don't want to use this if it's legacy. Origin, the complex type that contains information about origins for this distribution. Type list of origin. An origin is the location where content is stored and from which CloudFront gets content to serve to viewers. To specify an origin, use S3 origin config. To specify an Amazon S3 bucket that is not configured with static website hosting. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so we can do this then. Origin access identity. Okay, I'm a bit confused now. Origin. Because where do we specify the name of the origin domain? So that there has to be somewhere where we can add a domain. Let's go back up. Is there something about a domain here? Aliases, nope. Yeah, so nothing about domains. So it's definitely, it has to be origins, right? A complex type that contains information about origins for this distribution. Use S3 origin config to specify an Amazon S3 bucket that is not configured with static site. So, okay, can we have the S3 config then? Use this type to specify an origin that is an Amazon S3 bucket that is not configured with static website to specify another type of origin, blah, blah, blah. But it's only got this CloudFront origin access identity to associate with the origin. Use an origin access identity to configure the origin so that viewers can only access objects in an Amazon S3 bucket through CloudFront. The format is blah blah blah, where the ID is the value of the CloudFront is the value in the ID element when you create an origin access identity. If you want your users to be able to access objects using either blah, but we need a way to add the domain. So where do we add the domain? Origin shield, we don't care about that. Is it origin group? Nope. So it's definitely origin. Legacy S3 origin, let's see, DNS name. Property okay, so this is no longer in use, which is a bit of a problem. We are stuck. Oh, let's do custom origin. Maybe that's the one. No, DNS, nope. It's not that. Aliases, no. Custom origin, nope. Hang on, let's see. Domain name. Custom origin config. The domain name for the origin. Oh, okay. So maybe it's just this then. So do we need to create an origin and then specify the origin? Well, we should be able to do that here. So I'm a bit confused. Let's find out. Let's see, origin. Origin. Custom origin config. Huh. Okay. So origins. Origins is a distribution config. Okay, so origins. A complex type that contains information about origins for this distribution. Okay, an origin. Oh no, okay, so we can do this. Hang on, let's see. So we can do S3. We can do S3. Alright, you know what? Let me just do. Oh, let's call it sigv4, whatever. And then blah. Okay, origins is not allowed. Property origins is not allowed. What are you on about? No, it's definitely allowed. Is it not part of the? Is it not part of the distribution? It is definitely part of the distribution. Distribution. Oh, so distribution config. Yeah, it's distribution config, so it's part of this. So it should be inside of here. Yeah, or oops, origins. And then we can do that. What? Hang on. Let's go back to the origins. Yeah, domain name, ID, blah, blah, blah. And then we can do origin access control ID and the domain name. Okay. So we can do, then we can do, so the domain name is going to be a ref. Is it? Hang on, let's go back. No, so it's bars.lol, so we need to go back to the S3 thing. S3 template reference bucket. I'm gonna have to look at the attributes because we don't just want the name, we want the actual URL. Yeah, domain name, that's the one. So we can do get at, like so. So we're gonna do get at, and then it's gonna be bars. Oops. Bars UI bucket dot domain name, like so. Yeah, example blah, 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 S3 dot Amazon. No. Oh no, it's regional domain name, you see. Yeah, .s3.region.blah. So it's regional domain name that we want. Regional domain name. We don't need. Is the ID required? Is the ID required? Yes. A unique identifier for the origin. This value must be unique within the distribution. Use this value to specify the target origin ID in a cache behavior or default cache behavior. A unique identifier for the origin. Alright, so I guess we'll do ID. Can we make that up? I guess we can. So we'll do balls lol UI unique ID. I don't know. So we've got the domain name, we've got the ID. So let's go back to the CloudFront thing. So we've got the domain, the path, enter a name. Do we need a name here? Can we pass it a name? Oh, ID, I guess ID is the name, which is fine. Access control ID, and then I believe that's it, right? I believe that's it. Yeah, so headers, origin shield. I think it matches with what we've got here. Yeah, origin shield, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't say anything about timeout. Oh, additional settings. Oh yeah, okay, attempts, timeouts, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we need the domains. So we've passed the name. And so now we'll pass in the ID of our say origin access control ID. And that is going to be ref bars oac-conf. Let's see, access control, we had it here. Where is it? Access control config. Nope, that's not it. That's this one. Properties, return values. For more information, get at ID. Right, so it's not ref. It's going to be again get at .id, like so. Do we have any other required properties? Required no, required no. Custom origin config. So domain name required yes, required yes. Origin access control ID is not. We don't care about the headers, and the origin path, we don't really care about that either. Okay, so we're good. S3 origin config uses this type to specify an origin that is an Amazon S3 bucket that is not configured with static website hosting to specify any other type of origin, including an Amazon S3 bucket that is configured with. Okay, S3 origin config, maybe we should pass that. And an origin access identity. So I guess it's going to be CloudFront origin. Format of the value is blah. Okay. So can we do that? And so it's going to be, I suppose it's going to be this. But then we need string interpolation. So we need to pass this as a variable. Let's look it up. CloudFront template string interpolation. Oh, sub. What's that? Where are we? Where's the sub? FN sub. substitutes variables in an input string with values that you specify. In your templates, you can use this function to construct commands or outputs that include values that aren't available until you create or update a stack. So let's do this. Oh my god, stop with the JSON. Thank you. Sub. So maybe we can do this, right? Use a data command. For the string parameter, you can't use any function. You must specify a string value. Okay. For the var name and var value parameters, you can use the following functions. So how do I do that? Let's see, let's try it. Let me copy this. I'm gonna copy this. Well, actually I can just do sub like that. And so in here we can have, yes, it's $sign brackets, and I guess we can do fn as fn get at, and let's see if we can get the bars aws-sam-cli.id. Yeah, let's do that. Incorrect type expected what? Expected AWS CloudFront distribution S3 config. Oh, so do we need to create an S3 config and then pass it this? No. No. Oh no, sorry. It's origin access identity. So it's origin access. Whoops. Let me just do this. It's origin access identity, and then I can take that and do this. All right, so we're gonna. I'm confident this is not gonna work, but do you know what? We'll try. So. What am I doing? So we've got the origins done. That's good. Hopefully. So we don't need to worry about any of this. Okay, so default cache behavior. Now we get to this part. Default cache behavior. Right, so path pattern, we don't care about that. We'll leave it default. Compress objects, and we don't really care about that. Viewer protocol policy, so that's the one. So let's go back to the distribution, default cache behavior. Whoa, that's a lot of values. Where is it's target origin ID, the value of the ID, the value of ID for the origin that you want CloudFront to route request to when they use the default cache behavior, the value of ID for the origin that you want CloudFront to route request to when they use the default cache behavior. Okay, well then, but the problem is we need our oh, I think we're gonna have to create an S3 origin. I think we're gonna have to create an origin. Right, but before we do that, let's move on to the rest. So viewer protocol policy, redirect to HTTPS. If a viewer submits an HTTP request, CloudFront returns an HTTP status code of 301 to the viewer along with the HTTPS URL. The viewer then resubmits the request using the new URL. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, because we don't want HTTPS only, because if someone uses HTTP to access the website, we don't want them to receive an error and think that this site is down. We want to redirect HTTP to HTTPS, so that way it makes for a smooth experience. Okay, so target origin ID. This is going to be a problem because we're going to need to create an origin. So go up here and say create an origin resource. I mean, can we save? Maybe we can save the origin. Now we have to create an origin manually. There's no way around it. Or maybe there is, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. But then the problem is we're gonna have to create an origin. So let's do that. Origin. CloudFront. Well, funny enough, there is no origin here. So we've got origin access control, public key, blah blah blah. But we don't have an origin. Let's go back to, let's see if how they do it. Example, default cache behavior. Huh. No, we created distribution, CloudFront origin access identity, blah blah blah. Distribution config. So there are no examples here, but if we go up here, if we go back up to the examples. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's passing an origin ID. So I'm a bit confused. Default cache behavior. Where is it? It's target origin ID. The value, but the problem is it's not. Distribution config, default cache behavior. Complex tag that describes the default cache behavior if you don't specify cache behavior element, or if files don't match any of the values of path pattern in cache behavior elements. You must create exactly one default cache behavior. I suppose. Well, because we've created it here, I guess we're gonna have to let's create a parameters, and let's say origin ID. But the problem, hang on, I'm not seeing this in. So the path pattern, blah blah blah. So redirect to HTTPS. Allow method. Yeah, we want to say get head, restrict viewer access. We don't care about that. Cache policy and origin request policy. Okay, so recommended. Managed. Can we do a simple course? I guess. And then we have to create a policy. We'll just stick to optional. Smooth streaming. Okay, so there's nothing in here. So I suppose it's gonna. it will apply to this one automatically. So yeah, it's got to match. So we're going to create a variable, so we'll call it bars origin ID type it's going to be string, and the default value is going to be whatever that was, right, like that. Okay, and then here we'll do bang ref bars origin ID, and we'll do it here too, like so, right? So we don't need to create an origin resource. So going back to default cache behavior, boom boom boom, default cache behavior. So we've set that to redirect to HTTPS. Let's go back to the methods now. Where are we? Default cache behavior. Boom. Default cache behavior. All right. So allowed methods. Nope, not JSON. YAML. Allowed methods. So what is it? It's a list of strings. So we'll do get head. Again, oops. Allow methods. Yeah, it's going to be get head. Restrict viewer access. If you restrict viewer access, viewers must use CloudFront signed URLs. Nope. Do we need that? Restrict. There's no viewer access here. Viewer protocol policy. Let's see, restrict access. If you pick the third choice, you may need to restrict access to. Okay, yeah, so we don't need that because we're using get and head, so we're good. Cache key and origin requests. We'll use the recommended blah blah blah. Smooth streaming, we don't care about that. Function associations. Choose an edge function to associate. We don't have an edge function. Settings. All right, so let's go back to the distribution config. Do we have settings here? No, we don't. But I suppose. Oh, price class. Okay. I've seen it. Price class. Allowed values 100, 200, price class all. The price class that corresponds with the maximum price that you want to pay for CloudFront service. If you specify CloudFront responds to requests for your objects from all CloudFront edge locations. If you specify a price class other than all, CloudFront serves your objects from the CloudFront edge location that has the lowest latency among the edge locations in your blah. Viewers who are in or near regions that are excluded from your specified may encounter slow performance. For more information about price classes, blah blah blah. Let's see. Because what do we want? What do we want? We want North America and Europe, right? So North America and Europe. North America and Europe. By default, CloudFront responds to blah blah blah. For example, if you choose price class 100, viewers in India might experience higher latency than if you choose price class 200. Okay, so it's always no except for 100. So it's North America and Europe. Fine. So we'll do price class 100. Like so. We'll pick this. Come back here. We'll do price class like this. WebACL. WAF is I think it's what is it again? It's the firewall, right? We don't care about that because we have a static site, so we don't care about that. Alternate domain name, CNAME. Add the custom domain names that you use in URL. So that's going to be interesting. So yeah, so this is where we need to add our name, and I've seen it again. No default distribution config. Yep, CNAMEs. Okay, well, CNAME. So the CNAME, is it CNAME like that? So CNAMEs, and that's going to be boss.lol. Oops, what am I doing? What am I doing? In fact, we don't care about the tags. So we've got the CNAME. Property description not available, blah blah blah. That's fine. The custom SSL certificate. Associate a certificate from AWS Certificate Manager. The certificate must be, yeah, as you can see, the certificate must be in the US East 1 region. So we have our certificate, which means we're going to have to take the ID of that certificate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, or maybe we could create another one, but because I'm not sure if it's going to override our existing one, I don't really want to risk it. So I'm going to take the one that I already have in North Virginia. I suppose we could create more, but, and I'm going to go to the systems manager here. In fact, can we use the CLI to do this? Whatever. I'm not gonna. No, actually, let's try. Let's see. AWS SSM CLI. CLI SSM. So hang on, is this the secure? Oh, that's V1. Yep. All right. So parameter, get param, blah blah blue, label param version, put parameter. Is that the one? Put parameter name and then value. Okay, so we'll do is the parameter store region? Yes. All right, so it's region locked, so we need to do AWS SSM what was it, put parameter, I think, yeah, that's the one. Put parameter put parameter and that's hyphen name. So it's going to be bars TLS TLS. I guess we'll do SRT ID. The value is going to be this, and then the region is going to be US East 1. I think my default region is EUS 3, so I have to specify the region. Well, we'll try and do this and see if it works. A parameter type is required. Okay, so I think it's going to be a string. Type is string. Oh my god, it's string with a capital S. There we go. So we should be able to refresh the parameter store. Yep, okay, so we've got it. Great. So now I'm going to do the whole business with resolve, but I'm just going to take a break really quickly. I'll be back in, let's say, 10 minutes max. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. I'm indulging in a bit of a chocolate. That's how chocolate is how Rafa Benitez pronounces the word. If anybody's into football, you know what I'm talking about. So we've got the what did we do again? Forgot what we did. Oh yeah, we created a param. So price class, CNAME. Oh yeah, that's okay. So we were setting up the SSL certificate, and so we have to pass in. So okay, so we're gonna pass the SSL certificate ID. What is it? Price class, blah blah blah. Is it that viewer certificate? Hang on, is this something about SSL? Enabled, blah blah blue. Viewer certificate. A complex type that determines the distribution. Okay, it's our viewer certificate. Let's look at required yes. None of them are required, funny enough. So let's look at the IAM certificate ID, so we don't need that. We need the ARN. Okay, so we need the ARN and not the okay. And confirmation, this field name is this. Okay. So this one's gonna be viewer certificate. And we'll have this. Like that. And this is gonna be our resource. So we need to go back to certificate manager and pull the ARN like so. I'll copy this and we'll create I had another chocolate square, but before we do that we need to pull the terminal and then do this again. I'll change the value to this and then we'll call this the ARN like so. Hopefully it's gonna work. Yep. And so now we need to do how does it look like? It's oops, what am I doing? Yeah, so we'll go. Hopefully I can copy paste across. Yep. Okay, so it's resolve SSM, what did we call it? Boss SRT ARN, and the version is 1, so it's resolve SSM, name of the parameter, and then the version number, which is 1 for us. If we go back, you can see version 1. And mind you, all of this is free, by the way. I've looked it up as part of the free tier, so we're good. Alright, back to CloudFront. Default root object. The object file name to return when the viewer requests the root URL instead of a specific object. I think it's going to be index.html, right? Because if we build, do I have my dist folder here? No. So if I do npm run build, oh, I do have the dist folder, but whatever. Okay, blah blah blah. So we go to this. We got index.html. So root URL, so slash index.html, as in, you know, bars.lol slash index.html. Standard logging, viewer request. Nah, whatever. I'm not gonna need this. IPv6, we don't care about that. And description is optional. All right, so hopefully this is gonna work. I have very low confidence that it will, but you know what? You live. Did we do deploy? Was it deploy? Oops, wrong folder. Nope. There we go. CF deploy. And now let's pray that it works. We're gonna have to go to CloudFormation and see for ourselves. North Virginia. North Virginia. Is it complete? What? Nah. Can't possibly be. Hang on. Oh, there must contain only alphanumeric characters. Yeah, so that's a big problem. So where are we? FN. Yeah. Alphanumeric characters. Let's go back to the. Do we have the page? Yeah. But we can't use a string with variables, blah blah blah, substitute. Okay, write variables as my var name. Variables can be template parameter names, resource logical IDs, resource attributes, or variable in a key value map. If you specify only template parameters, if you specify resource attributes such as my instance start, CloudFormation returns this. Okay. So then we don't have to do this. We can essentially just do that. We can get rid of this. Oops. Can get rid of this, and hopefully this should work. Yes. So now if we visit the page here and do update in progress. Oh boy, is this going to be interesting. So we're creating distribution from scratch. In fact, we'll go to CloudFront and I want to see the list of distributions. So we don't have any at the minute. And if we go to CloudFormation, and boom, We have an error. Okay. Resource handler return message invalid request provided. IAM certificate ID or ACM certificate on can be specified only if SSL support method must also be specified and vice versa. And where do we get this SSL support method? Oh, we get it here. So what is this? Viewer certificate. Which views the distribution to accept HTTPS connections from only viewers that support SNI, set SSL support method to SNI only. To access HTTP set to VIP. This is not recommended and results in additional monthly charges from CloudFront. In CloudFormation, the field name is SSL support method. Note the different capitalization. Which viewer distribution? Let's see. If the distribution uses aliases, specify which viewers the distribution accepts HTTPS connections from only viewers that support SNI. Okay, so we'll do SNI only then, I guess. We'll do. Where are we? Where was it? Oh, view certificate. So it's SSL support method. SNI only. And now we have to wait for it to, I guess, roll back. Yeah, roll back in progress. Okay, rollback complete. So this should stop. Okay, so now we can deploy again. Oh, and then of course we're going to have to create a DNS record, because all this is going to do is create a CloudFront distribution with a CloudFront distribution URL, and then of course we have to add the website, we have to add the files, and this is why I created a very basic CI/CD in GitLab for this. What now? What now? What? Forwarded values is required, is it? Invalid request. The parameter forwarded values is required. Oh my god. Is it though? Okay, so it's not part of this. So it's got to be part of the distribution config. Forwarded values. Oh, default root object. We forgot that. The object that you want to do, for example, index.html, when the viewer requests instead of an object in your distribution, specifying. Don't add a slash before the domain. Okay. Well, first we forgot this. So I have to go back and do this. So default root object is going to be in can we do this index.html? Maybe, I don't know. We'll do that, whatever. No, we'll keep the quotes. Enabled. What was it complaining about again? Forwarded values. Where is that? I think I've seen it. System manager, we don't care about that. We don't care about this. CloudFront distribution, the parameter forwarded values. So that's not here. It's not here either. Distribution. Let's see. Forwarded value. Ooh, there we go. Forwarded values is required. Default cache behavior. There has to be somewhere. Oh, okay. Default cache behavior. Forwarded values. The field is this field is deprecated. We recommend that you use a cache policy or an origin request policy instead of this field. A default cache behavior. Oh, it's the default cache behavior. Okay. A default must include either cache policy ID or forwarded value. We recommend that you use a cache policy ID. But the problem is, I don't have a cache policy ID, do I? Cache policy ID, let's go. Cache policy ID. There's nothing about cache policies here. Let's go back to default cache behavior, like that. Cache policy ID. The unique identifier of the cache policy that is attached to the default cache behavior. For more information, see creating cache policies or using the managed cache policies in the Amazon CloudFront developer guide. Can we do that? I'd rather not create one. Amplify. Caching optimized. When using it, the ID for this policy is this. Alright. Caching disabled. When using it, what is this? Amplify. Nope. Caching optimized. No query strings, headers or cookies are included. The blah blah blah. Elemental media package. Nah, we'll just use the caching optimized cache policy ID. We'll create a cache. What's it called? Whatever. Cache optimized policy ID, and the type is going to be string, and the default value is going to be that. So now default cache, we can do cache policy ID, and then we can reference the cache optimized policy ID. Is it okay? So it's done. So we can try again. And so now, let's see. Who doesn't love a bit of chocolate? I could eat the whole bloody thing, but you know what? I'm gonna have a bit of self-control here. Ah, God help us. Alright. The specified origin access identity does not exist or is not valid. Okay. Let's go back. Origin access. Oops. Origin access identity. Okay. So it's where is it? It's origins. So it's origins. S3 blah blah. This origin access identity. the format of the value is origin access identity CloudFront NIS. So clearly this is not creating so there's a problem with C sub again. Yeah, no. Or maybe origin access identity CloudFront ID. So she use an origin access identity to configure the instead of views can only if you want views to be able to access object, use either the CloudFront URL, specify an empty element to delete origin access identity, update the distribution to replace the origin from one information. Origin access identity, CloudFront ID of origin access identity. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is what we have, right? There's a bit of an issue here. Okay, let me hard code it. Let me pull that and let me just pull it out. What is it? Origin access. I'm gonna pull that and copy it. I want to see if it's a problem with oops. Actually, do you know what? Nope. I'm gonna try this and see if it actually deploys. I don't know if it's expecting this ID, I mean the ID alone, or something in that format, in that exact format. I don't know. Specify. Okay, does not exist, is not valid. All right, so it's definitely just the ID then. So we're gonna do ref. Actually, it's get at, and it's bars oac-conf.id, like that. Or let's look at the conf. Let's go back to the origin access control. Maybe there's something we missed here. What is the return value? Nothing. Okay, so it's definitely, yeah, it's just this. It's got to be the ID alone. Where are we? Clean up in progress. What time is it? Ooh, it's almost 9 o'clock. Is there any football on? Okay. So what happened? Not who cares about France? Nobody cares. Ooh, Barcelona. Premier League, Man United, Southampton, Fulham, Arsenal, Newcastle. Yeah, not much except Barcelona. Let's see. Lewandowski, Lima Blue. Okay, so it's complete. So once this is when it releases the shell, okay, we'll be able to do it again. And now I'm confident. I don't know why it's not working though. Okay, create in progress. Did we have a create in progress? Yes, we did. Boom. The specified origin access identity does not exist or is not valid. Boom. I'm just gonna copy this. Well, you might have solved it as you've asked your question long back, but this might help if you didn't. I too face it. Blah, blah. Oh, but hang on. Do I need an access identity? That is not an access identity. We didn't use that. We used access control origin. So who cares about this? Do we even need this? I don't think so. Yeah, whatever. We'll update the oh yeah, because okay. So when this releases, we need to get the policy. So we're gonna have to create a bucket policy once this is okay. So okay, let me make a note of this. So after this, right, we need to create a bucket policy, right? Oh my god, what happened? Let me go back. So we're going to create a bucket policy, and then we'll add an A record to Route 53, and then and then of course we'll need to trigger the pipeline, and then trigger the pipeline, and then what's what I'm looking for? Deploy deploy it, and I guess we'll be done. So we don't need this. Are we done yet? Yes. Let's CF deploy, and I believe this is going to. It can't possibly fail this time. Like we're just not. We can't be failing this time. Create in progress. Oh god. Exactly one of custom origin config and S3 origin config must be specified. My god. Okay. So what is it again? It's inside the origins. Okay, so it's inside the origins. An origin is use S3 origin config to specify an Amazon S3 bucket that is not configured with status. Specify all other kinds of origin that is configured with status hosting. It's not configured in static website hosting, and I don't want it to. My god, use this type to specify S3 config, and then origin access identity. This CloudFront origin to associate with the origin. Use an origin access identity to configure the origins that I've used can only access objects in an S3 bucket through CloudFront. The format of the value is this. Is the value, but we didn't use access identity. We used OAC, access control, origin access control. If you want viewers to be able to access objects using either the CloudFront URL or the Amazon S3 URL, specify an origin access identity element to delete the origin. Do you know what? We're gonna set it to an empty object for now. We're not gonna bother. I'm just gonna do S3 origin config, and then we're gonna do origin access identity empty string, right? Just so it stops yelling at us, because the problem is we didn't see, we created this access control, so we didn't do origin access identity, right? And I believe it's deprecated. Yeah, CloudFront origin access identity config, like so. To declare this entity, use the following syntax. Oh. Hang on, what? Oh. Well, let's just, okay. Did I? Let's go back. Did we create? No, okay, cool. So we'll create that. We'll create an origin access identity, and then we'll go back to this. We'll definitely need this. And so we'll do hang on, where was I? So that JSON examples, properties, blah. And it's just a comment. And so that's going to be bars origin access identity conf, and that's going to be bars.lol access identity origin access identity config. And so return values, the ID, so that's going to be the ID, returns the origin access identity. Okay, so we'll just do ref as in this. So you've got join, blah blah blah, and then instead of doing this, we'll do bars OAI conf, incorrect type, expected string. Did you expect a string though? Well then let's do sub. Right, we'll do this like that. Boom. I suppose we're good. Now hopefully I guess the 17th time is the charm. I'm gonna need a big mic stand because it's a bit uncomfortable. I'm probably also going to need the laptop stand and many other things. Let's see. I wonder how the quality is. Error. Cannot use both origin access control and origin access. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I think we're going to do something. Do you know what? We're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this. So now, because origin access control was the one that was recommended, so we'll do that. Whatever. Hang on. Cannot use both origin access control and origin access control identity on an origin. Maybe we have. Stack Overflow, my guy. Google. Do we not have something? Let's use quotes maybe. Nope. Alright, that's fine. We'll just can we do, actually let's do CloudFront. Not CloudFront, CloudFormation, CloudFront OAC. CloudFront origin access control. So we've created that. Where are we? Yeah, okay. So that stack name, blee, blah, blue. Okay, modify the bucket policy. New blue, 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 distribution origin. Yeah, okay, okay. So it was the whoops. So we just need to do this. Fine. All right, 20th time should be the charm now. What was it? So and so now we create a policy based on this. So we're gonna, okay. So we're gonna have to create a bucket policy, as I said, once the thing returns. Delete complete. Oh look. No, hang on. No. Let's not get our hopes up, because it's just been created. But strangely, we don't have an error. So if we go to distributions, it has been created. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? If that is not a win, I don't know what is. Okay, so it's been created, which means now we can go back to the documentation and look at the return values. Wow. Wow. So hang on, do we not get a, does it not return It doesn't return a no way. It doesn't return a bucket policy. What? Okay, so we get a domain name, that's great, but I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in my bucket policy. Can we find bucket? Whoa. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to figure out, or we'll use that example. Because we want to allow, because at the minute our bucket is private, right? It's set to private, so we're gonna have to create a policy that allows access from our CloudFront distribution. So the bucket is going to be our bucket, policy document statement. So yeah, get object, allow. So the resource is going to be all the, so all objects in that bucket. Principal is going to be CloudFront. So we allow in CloudFront to perform get object operations on our bucket, all objects in our bucket. And then the condition is going to be this. So ARN, AWS CloudFront, account ID, distribution, and then as oh yeah, so this ref, and so if we pull the documentation and look at the return value, the ref essentially returns the ID of the bucket of the distribution, so we should be good. So what happened here? Do we have an error? No, it's still in creation. So let's see. Do we have an error somewhere? Okay, so customer certificate works. That's great. That is great. Invalidation. Tags. I wonder if we need to. No, I don't think so. I don't think we have to update the policy first. Do we have to update the policy first? I don't know. No, we don't. Brilliant. So it's done. Great. So now we need to update the policy and then add the domain name, the A record, which I believe is going to be an alias. Like we did before. So let's see. CloudFront. What am I doing? Oh yeah, bucket policy. Bucket policy. Hang on, I'm a bit tired of the music. I mean, it's the same loop. Do we have something else? No, because that is let's try this. It's typical RPG, fantasy RPG. I'm not even into that type of game, to be honest. Right, so the bucket policy. Let's try that. So YAML examples. Give me YAML. Boom. Alright, so we'll just copy that. So this is going to have to be like this. We're not going to need that. And that's going to be bars UI bucket policy. So the ref is going to be bars UI bucket, like that. Is this how you did it? How did he do it? Yeah. So S3 bucket policy, policy document, blah blah blah. So it's get object, allow the resource. We'll leave it at that. The principal, I believe, is CloudFront dot. What is it? CloudFront. Yeah, the Amazon.aws.com. The Amazon AWS.com. CloudFront Amazon. So yeah, the resource, of course, is going to be, well, it's going to be the, is it sub? Did he use sub? He did use sub. So it's sub, and that's going to be, yeah, so that's going to be bars UI bucket dot, I think it's ARN, yeah. Is it though? Let's go back just to triple check. And the music is a bit too loud for my taste. Let's tone it down a bit. It's a bit too distracting. There we go. So let's go to bucket, return values. It's the ref. Yeah, ARN like that. Okay, so get at ARN. So that makes sense, right? ARN. There we go. Resource ARN and then /star. Give me a second. The door is banging because my window is open. So, and there's a lot of wind. So I'll just be. I won't be long. Okay, so the principal is CloudFront aws.com, blah blah blah. What else do we need? Condition. I think he added the condition. So principal. He did this though, so let's do that. Let's see if we can. It doesn't look like there is a service. So resource is this. But let me just add the quotes anyway. Principal. And let's do condition. Okay. Something's weird here. It's part of the statement. So you've got the action. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. Okay, action effect. Right, resource, principal. Yeah, and then condition. So why do I not have whatever? Let's look at that. Condition. Yeah. Or I'm a bit confused as to why it's not. No, I think we're in the. Yeah. Let me do. Okay, bucket. Right, so I can do ref bars UI bucket. Let me do policy document. Okay, so there's no autocomplete for this. So I guess it's freestyle, which means we're gonna have to copy paste some things from that guy. So string equals, so it's gonna be string equals, and then we have that. I don't think this is gonna work for whatever reason, but whatever. And assets, so assets, and this is gonna be the bucket. I guess just a bucket name, because this is the same thing as doing ref. So we'll do that. Let's actually deploy this and see if we get anywhere. Events. Okay, update in progress. Okay, so it's creating the policy. In fact, let's go to S3 and see if we have a policy attached to it, and if it looks anything like what we have. These permissions, bucket policy. Did it create a policy? Did we add it to the correct bucket? No, we definitely did. Did we though? Let's see if we made a mistake. Version statement action S3 get object. So allow S3 get object API calls to our bucket /star with that principle, and when the condition, on the condition that is that the source ARN, I guess, is our CloudFront distribution. Oh no, that's a big problem. It's not this, it's the actual distribution. So bars CloudFront distrib. Yep, I'm gonna have to change that, but first we need to, yeah, malform policy ID blah blah blah. Yeah, that's a good catch. It's not the bucket, it's the, because the source ARN is going to be CloudFront, of course, not our distribution. Not the it can't be this, the bucket can't be its own source ARN. So now we have to wait for it to delete. Okay, it's complete, so we can do it again. And hopefully when this is done, we can add the A record. In fact, I guess I'm just gonna copy and paste what we already have here, like this, and then we'll find, I hope, yeah, so resolve, blah blah blue, bars hosted zone ID, so that's the name, right? And so the DNS name, so let's, what? Oh, CloudFormation, nope. Blue blue blue. That's CloudFormation. Bucket policy. There we go. CloudFront. Nope. Distribution. Return values, and that's the domain name. So we're gonna need this. So we're gonna do get at bars CloudFront distrib dot domain name and the hosted zone ID. The hosted zone ID is going to be this. This time it's going to be different. I'm hoping. No, yeah, of course. I hope so. Okay, so it's still creating. So can we go to our S3 bucket? Where's my S3 bucket? There it is. It's properties, permissions, bucket policy. Nope, still not created. Or maybe it's stored somewhere else, I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Invalid policy syntax. Bloody knew it. Malformed. Invalid policy syntax. Oh, it's a string. So before we do anything, this is going to be a string. And now, yeah, condition. Is it string equal? So string equals. I bet it's no string equals. So let's hang on. Bucket policy. That's the one. And C condition. Now that's S3 bucket. Are we in an S3 bucket? Yeah, now what we want is a bucket policy. It's a policy document. Type JSON. Resource. String like. Yeah. So how long does it take to fail? 2 minutes. Yeah, approximately 2 minutes. So how long has it been now? It's been 2 minutes. Almost 2 minutes. Because it's 9:16, 9:14. I guess we did it almost at 9:15, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Okay, maybe this time's gonna work. Let's see. Let's refresh. I am not hopeful. Yeah, no policy to display. So this failed. It did not. Okay, so maybe it stores it somewhere else then. Or maybe it just takes a long time. I don't know. No, it failed. Invalid policy syntax. Malformed policy. Oh my god, what? CloudFormation. Bucket policy. Yes. Just leave me alone, man. Oh my god, will you just... Okay, do you know what? Yes. Policy document, statement, action, S3, allow, resource, blah, principal. Properties. Okay, bucket. Policy document. Great. You got the version. Statement. Action. Effect. So action, effect, resource. The principal. Oh, maybe. Okay. Nah, it can't be. How did he do it? Okay, we'll do that. Oh, okay, maybe okay. Because this is yeah. Of course, there is no syntax. What's it called? There's no linting for this for whatever reason. So maybe that was the issue. But this time it took longer. Actually, no, it didn't. It was 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes and 28 seconds. 2.5 minutes. Between the time it's created in progress. Oh, boom, it's done. Okay, so let's go to the front end then. Permissions. Boom, we have the... Okay, good. Brilliant. Alright, moving on. So now we need to create the DNS record. Now the name is not going to be this, it's going to be the domain name. So it's going to be the root domain name. So bars domain name. That's going to be, oops, it's going to be bars.lol. Maybe at some point I'll add like www, but for whatever, for now we'll just do bars. Nope. Bars domain name. Before we do anything, let's go to root 53 and run a test. So let's try and do it manually. So you've got hosted zone. We've got this, right? And then if we do create record, simple routing, next, define simple record. All right, so we keep it blank for the root domain, so bars.lol. We want this, and then we want alias to CloudFront. Is it CloudFront? Yeah, that. So US North Virginia. No, wait, hang on, what do you mean? Did it not create the distribution? An alias to a CloudFront distribution. Oh my god. What? Where am I now? Global. Well, of course it's global, right? Did we not create the CloudFront distribution? CloudFront. It's global too, right? So I'm confused now. I am terribly confused. So we've got the origin, blah blah blue. Route 53. Oh. No resources found. An alias to a CloudFront distribution and another record in the same hosted zone are global and available only. Yeah, well, where am I supposed to? I don't get it. Let me copy and paste this. This is a bit. Let's do API gateway. Let me just check. Is it US East one, right? No resource found. What in the hell? My CloudFront distribution is created, so what's going on here? I can see it right here. Oh, what? alternate domain names. Hang on, we don't have that. So what happened here? CloudFront. Distribution. Properties, distribution config. Alternate aliases. Oh, it's aliases. So what's CNAME then? Ugh. Okay, so aliases. It's a list of strings. I use CNAMEs when in reality it should be aliases. And so now we'll do bars.lol. So why am I using CNAMEs for? Oh, because it said CNAME on the wizard on the console. So let's deploy this. And hopefully it's CloudFormation, North Virginia. Okay, boom, events. So hopefully it's going to update it. Let's see if the... Okay, so now we've got the domain name. So we're going to have to wait for this to finish before we go to Route 53, or maybe we don't have to, but let's try it anyway. And I haven't had dinner either. It's not a big deal. The CloudFormation. I just want to see the table. I suppose it's gonna have to recreate the so there's no description, type is this, alternate domain names, blah blah blah, and it says deploying. Table. So as we can see now, why are they 9 points? Did they score? I think Barcelona, they must have scored, because otherwise it wouldn't say 9 points. It should only say 8. So it's taking its time for it to deploy. I guess we're gonna have to wait for it to deploy completely before it shows up on Route 53. That's how I'm looking at it. Took 3 minutes the first time around. Now it's been 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes, and it's not done yet. I'm a bit worried. I wonder if this could be edited. Yeah, alternate domain names. Okay, so we could have manually edited this, but we decided not to. Okay. Oh, so that's, oh, okay. Oops, it's creating the record. I don't think it's gonna fly. We've left it. I think it's gonna fail miserably. Oh, is it going to though? Let's see. Choose endpoint. So we'll do. Can we actually do this? No, so okay. So that's that, and then we can do CloudFront. Yeah, okay, so now it shows up, so it's gonna work. It's definitely going to work. And we should hopefully have 6 records. No? We should have an addition. What did we add here? Yeah, blah blah blah. So hang on, let's see. This doesn't look like it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. So D3C, and the one we have currently is DJIT, so that's not it. But there's definitely a problem here. I think there's an error somewhere. Is there? I'm not seeing it appear, which means there's a bit of problem. This should say 6. So let's go to the root 53. And look at the DNS record set name. Enter fully qualified domain name. You can optionally include a trailing dot. If you omit the trailing dot, Amazon route 53 assumes that the domain name they specify is fully qualified. This means that route 53 treats for information. You can use asterisks to replace the leftmost label. You can use a wildcard. You can't use an change for middle labels. Okay. In addition, the star must replace the entire label. Okay. So we don't need region, resource records. I think we're good. I think that's the one. I think we're correct. But it's just not adding it. I think it failed. It hasn't failed yet. What are we doing? Is it the correct hosted zone ID? Maybe it's not. Maybe it is not. Let's see. Let's do AWS SSM. I think it's get parameters. Let's get parameters. what is it? Let's see. Lists. So get parameters, yeah. So get parameters. Get parameters. And then it's going to be region US East 1. Nope. Names. No, we need to list parameters. List resources, documents, put parameter, get param. And it is stuck in a loop. I don't know why. Because clearly we can create it. Let me see. So we don't need this, we no longer need this, we no longer need this. We're good. It's CloudFront. Let's go to Systems Manager. Parameter store. Yes, it's that. So what am I doing? Oh my god. Let's go back to do vagrant SSH attach -t0. Hopefully we've got our session. Yes, we do. So come back here. It's still creating for whatever reason, but it's definitely this. So it must be a problem with the alias target thing. So it's root 53. Let's check it out. Root 53 record set. Alias target. Right. So the DNS name. The value that you specify depends on where you do blah, blah. For regional APIs, specify the value regional domain name. For edge optimized APIs, use distribution domain names. Oh, CloudFront distribution. Specify the domain name that CloudFront assigned when you create your CloudFront distribution must include an alternate domain name that matches the name of the record. For example, if the name of the record is Acme example, your CloudFormation distribution must include as one of the alternate domain names. Okay, so well, yeah, that is correct. But we're not seeing that, are we? See the examples. Do we have CloudFront somewhere? CloudFront. Nope, no example with CloudFront. And that is a host is an ID name. We don't need a TTL or anything like that. I don't think so. Is it done yet? No, it's just stuck. It is stuck. Let's say let's do root 53 CloudFormation CloudFront. Yeah, let's do that. Name ref, alternate domain names. You can use the below template. Hosted zone ID, name is ref to that. My distribution domain name. Oh, type CNAME. You dummy. So can we stop the update then? Cancel update stack. Oh, but it's gonna. Yeah, cancel update. It's a CNAME record and not an A record. Is it though? Let's go back to the should it be a CNAME? Oh, huh. I should raise as you're using root 53, you should take advantage of using alias records instead of CNAME records. Okay. So hosted zone ID, we got hosted zone ID, and then record set. Hosted zone ID. What? Okay, record set. Great. So hosted zone ID. So the name is the domain name. Type is A. Type is A. Whoops. The type is A, alias target. Why is the hosted zone ID not the same as the, oh boy. I think I know why. So it's exactly the same thing. It's the same problem I had with API Gateway, and I believe, nope, see, we don't get the hosted zone here. So my distribution domain name, but why is the hosted zone ID different to this? That is a big problem. The hosted zone is definitely CloudFront's. DNS name. Hosted zone ID. Oh! So the hosted zone ID is not our hosted zone, it's the hosted zone of CloudFront. So we'll add this to the refs too. This is why we need to RTFM. So CloudFront hosted zone ID, and that's going to be this. So now we can do ref CloudFront hosted zone ID like that. So if we go to CloudFormation here now, what are we doing? Okay, update rollback in progress. Good. What's it doing? Okay, so we can't cancel update. Try to create an alias that targets type A, but the alias target name does not lie within the target zone. Try to create an alias, blah blah blah. Yeah. So that was the problem, which means, yeah, so we have an A record. So the hosted zone ID is our hosted zone, and then this is gonna work. Now I wonder if we can do this and do bars hosted zone and have this be dynamic like that, right? So we'll essentially just paste this and then oops, and then do ref bars hosted zone. And if this works, then we'll, I guess, update the rest of the functions. Okay, update complete. Okay, update rollback complete, good. Which means now the shell is going to be released, hopefully. How long have I been on? Oh, 3 hours, almost 3 hours. Okay, so now hopefully everything should go smooth. I think it's been deleted, right? Hasn't it been deleted? No, but the alternate domain name is gone. Yeah, the alternate domain name is gone, so it's going to recreate it. And so it finishes with 5Z4. CloudFormation. Yeah. Oops. CloudFormation. No, that's the hosted zone. Let's inspect our stacks. North Virginia. Boom. Basel UI. Let's see if I can get this close to me. No. I'll keep it at a distance. I really need to invest in a proper setup, because at the minute it's just a bit DIY. Alright, events. Okay, update in progress. So it usually takes 3 minutes to complete. So we're gonna have to wait for this to complete, and when it does, we'll inspect our hosted zone, which we're gonna open here. So we're gonna open a hosted zone here. Balls, lol. So we've got five records, and we should see 6 records here once this completes. So it's been 2 minutes. Yeah, it's usually 3.5 minutes. Let's open the football, see what we have. It's halftime, I believe. Yep, I knew they scored, that's why they've been Lewandowski. Oh, Rafinha. Okay. I would have expected Lewandowski to score, but hey. CloudFormation. Nope, still not done. Because if the DNS record gets updated successfully and correctly, we still need to we still need to deploy a website. In fact, let me show you really quickly. If I go to GitLab CI.yaml, so I have a node image. We're gonna have to pass in an S3 bucket name, and we have two stages: build and deploy. The build stage is essentially just going to do npm run build artifacts, and then this is going to copy. It's going to copy our. Oops! It is going to copy our distribution directory to our bucket. And I think I'm gonna need to add. The AWS key ID. Let's see. GitLab CI. Permissions, assume role, permissions provider. Yeah, because then we should create a user and then create a role and then do the assume role thing. That's how they do it. Let's go to assume role. Yeah, export editor. And then you do SDS assume role. Role session name. Let's see. What happened here? Oh, wrong one. In fact, let's go back here. Okay, it's update complete. DNS record is complete. So if we refresh, we should have 6 now. Yes, we do. Brilliant. So now we're having a bit of a problem because we need a way to I haven't used the AWS CLI in a long time, so let's do AWS S3 help. I don't know. Can we pass the key and secret access key? No. AWS help. Okay, endpoint URL, no paginate, output, query, profile, region, version, color, CA bundle, no CLI, oops, prompt. Use a specific profile from your credential file. Let's look at the format because I don't want to pull mine. So let's do format. Let's do create. What's it called? AWS credentials file format. I think it's an INI format, like So we'll do this. Oh, so there's AWS config and AWS credentials. Okay, so okay, so before script we'll do this. In fact, before that we'll do mkdir AWS, and then we'll do touch. Actually, no, we don't do that. We need to oh, I think we can add. Let's go to GitLab.com. I think we can add files now as variables. So if I go to settings, CI/CD variables, add variable, export variables but running on protected branches and tags only. Oh, we'll do this. Yeah, we can set it to a file, right? And so the key is going to be AWS config file, and we'll copy this. Whoa. No way. I think I've lost my connection. I think I'm back. Am I back? I think I'm back. I hope I'm good enough. I hope I'm good. Nope, that's not what I want. This is what I want. Like that. So this is going to be US East 1. This is going to be US East 1. Output is going to be JSON. So I'm going to add the variable, and then what I want to do is I want to cp AWS config file, and actually I want to echo this and send it to .aws/config, like so. And then oops, I'm almost out of battery on my phone. Let me just script, and then let me just cat AWS/config. Right. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully this is good enough. So we can now do git add, git commit, set up UI infrastructure X. Oh, you just set up UI infrastructure, and then we'll push origin master. Yeah, I've called it release. Okay, so I've got, yeah, I'll change that to master for the deployment, but for now we'll just do this. And I believe that we no longer have to use AWS CP, right? We can just do S3 help. I think we can do sync, if I'm not mistaken. Is it sync? Yeah, directory and S3 prefix operations. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do sync. We'll do sync instead of so if I type sync here. Okay, so in the command AWS S3 sync the S3 bucket, the source directory is temp foo. Any exclude filter will be evaluated with the source directory prepended. Right. So yeah. So for directories we'll use sync. Am I live? Because I don't even know. if I am. Let me go back to Twitch. Let me just go to Twitch real quick. Am I live? Am I live? Yes, I am. Okay, good. So now if we look at the, would you please leave? CI/CD settings. Let's go to the pipelines. So it's building now, hopefully. And when this is done, we can what? Oh. Oh, you see we have a problem because it's no, it's not echo. Is it CP? Where did I do this? Let me go to my main project. It's called engineer.club. Let's see. Was it API? I think it was API, right? Settings. And now let me go to GitLab CI. CP. Oh yeah, we can just CP instead of echo. And what did I echo? It should have been cat, but whatever. We'll just CP. And then instead of doing this, we'll do sync, and we'll get rid of recursive. And then we'll add the bucket name, which was, what's the bucket name? What is the bucket name? Boslol front end. So we'll add that too. Boom. CI/CD. Variables. We'll add a variable and we'll call it S3 bucket name. Actually, let's call it bars bucket name. Value is going to be this. Nope. Value is not going to be this. It's going to be, well, I guess bars lol front end, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Blah. Export variables to pipelines running on protected branch. Whatever. And variable. Okay. So now, instead of S3 bucket, yeah. So bars S3 bucket. Is it? Bars bucket name. So we'll change that here. Bars bucket name. And while we are at it, we'll do AWS creds file, and that's going to be aws.aws/credentials. So we're going to have to create a credentials file. So let me do this off stream. Secret. Let me Boom. AWS creds file. Is this what we call it? Yep. Boom. It's a file. We'll add a variable. Oh, actually, let me and what about the config file? We'll just protect it, whatever. Protect, update the variable. Great. So now we can go back to the pipelines. Oops. So we're good. So we should be able now to git commit copy creds and AWS defaults config. So at the minute I'm using my own user credentials, but I'm going to create a user with the proper roles and everything else, and then add it there and replace the variables. And it's only going to be able to operate on this against this bucket. In fact, why am I doing this? I don't need that now. So, moment of truth. Okay, so we're only catting the config file and not the creds. Oh, hello. We have a problem. Oh, missing destination, of course. Are we missing the destination? What does that mean? CP config file. Why are we doing this? Oh. I am stupid. I need to remove this. V2. This has got to be the longest stream I've ever done. Well, that's not the correct repo. Okay. And so once it's deployed, we'll try and make a change and then see it happen live. You don't have any invalidation. Geographic restrictions. Right. Okay, so it's good, right? So now if we change this back to master, hopefully we should have something soon. And if not, then I'm gonna have to fix it off stream. But at the minute, I'll do git commit change deploy stage default branch Excel, and we'll do git push origin master. Now we should have 2 jobs. Yep, 2 stages. So this takes a minute, and this is probably gonna fail. And I am hungry. CloudFormation, we're done with that, we're done with that, we're done with that. Done with Route 53. It's all about this now. Okay. So now it's the moment of truth. Have we made a mistake somewhere? Let's see. No, the script is aws s3 sync. So the dist directory is the artifact that we create, and then we say send it to the S3 bucket. Aws command. Ugh. We have to use you have to use an image. You have to use a Python image. Okay, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this off stream, but we're just gonna do this now. So we'll do it. Do we have a dist directory? Yes, we do. So I'm gonna do aws s3 sync dist, and it's gonna be s3 bars lol front end, like that, trailing slash. Okay, so we've updated. So okay, so now it's been uploaded. So what I'm gonna have to do then is essentially set an image here, install the AWS CLI, and then run the thing. But if we go to S3 now, I should have 3 files in my bucket. Okay, bars lol front end. I should have 3 files, right? Index.html, blue Astro. So now, if I do bars.lol, it works. It actually works. If that is not a win, I don't know what is. All right, so let's. Oh, hello. That's a bit of an issue. All right, so actually I don't like this, so let's make this display flex, right? So if we go to localhost 3000, funny enough, it didn't work. It doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna have to fix this. For some reason it's not. It is not. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? But you know what? We're going to change the title for now. Was it page? No, is it page? No, it's layout. Oh, title. Welcome to Astro. So the title is going to be bars.lol. The funniest API around. Okay, and so we're gonna essentially npm run build, and then we'll do can we do AWS S3? Yeah, and we'll do npm run build and this. Okay, so it's doing it. It's great. It's complete. Alright, so we've uploaded the files. So now we should see. Hang on, where are we? Oh, that's localhost. So where's bars.club? Bars.lol. And it says welcome to Astro. Sister, what? Can we not force refresh? Let me do file, window. Huh. Hang on, let me test on Brave. Let me do bars.lol. No. So it's cached. Let's go back to the options here and look for cache. No. Behaviors. Create behavior. Cache key, cache policy. Didn't we do the cache optimize thing? Do we not have cache policies? Origin requests. Did we not do the cache policy? Hang on a minute. Cache policy ID. Yeah, optimize policy ID. So what the hell? Cache optimized policy CloudFront. Caching optimized. Minimum TTL 1 second. Cookies included. Except encoding. Blah blah blah. Invalidations. Oh. As a path for each object that you want to remove from the CloudFront cache, you can use wildcards. Well, I guess we'll cache everything because the reason why we want to cache everything is because every time we create a new CSS file, right? And so it's the name is going to be different. So we'll just use a wildcard because we're not going to have that many files anyway. So you know, where are we? Where am I? What am I doing? Yep. So we'll do this. I'll do that. Create inval. Oh, so like this. Create invalidation. Status in progress. And so once this is done, let's refresh. Okay, so it's in progress. I suppose when this, I don't even know. I mean, I hope it does. Okay, completed. They created this. So if I refresh now, am I? Yeah, pause the LOL. Okay, so it works. So let's try. Let's inspect this. And this was supposed to be display flex, right? So why is it not display flex? I don't know. Let's go to footer. It's components, footer. Oh no, it is display flex. So there's that's an issue, isn't it? Hang on, let's see. Let's change the God. Let's change the color to, I don't know, blue. Okay. So it definitely works. But for whatever reason, it's not deploying correctly. So this is localhost, and this is it's bars footer. Let's inspect this and see. Yeah, so it should be okay. But this is display block. So there's a problem with the CSS. I don't know what it is, but okay. Let's change something else. What can we change? Type array. Oh, actually, here's a good one. This is not a correct string. It's not a correct comment in JSON, so let's go to endpoints. It's a sample response. Yeah, we'll change this from $sign to /, and then we'll do the whole dance again of npm run build. But I don't know why it didn't. So 646. Okay, so I created in, I guess I created a file. All right. Well, now because we've invalidated the cache, we should see the. Oh, is this the correct one? Is this post LOL? No. Oh, hang on. Do we have to create an invalidation every time? Nah. No. Can't possibly be. It cannot possibly be. Let's go to invalidations and see if it's in progress. When this says completed, we'll refresh. So where are we now? This is bars.lol. So we'll keep just one. Okay, it's completed. So this should turn into a string, right? And it did. Okay, so every time, so essentially, blah, 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 and then we need to find a way to invalidate the cache. Let's see. Is there a CloudFront? CloudFront. Blah. Okay, invalidate cache. Oh, create invalidation. Okay. So let's do that. Create invalidation. And then distribution ID. Alright, so I'm gonna echo this. No, actually, do you know what? I'm gonna go to my GitLab CI here, and we'll do AWS CloudFront create invalidation, and then invalidation distribution ID. Distribution ID is going to be distribution ID, like so, and that's going to be bars distribution ID, like that. So user will need put object permissions on S3, and user will need I guess create invalidation permissions on CloudFront, like that. So we'll have to create 2 roles and then attach them to a new user for that specific ID. Specific ID for that specific bucket. Okay. So yeah. But I think we're good now. I think we're good because now we have a website working, so we are golden. So I'm gonna finish this off stream, maybe tomorrow evening. We'll do this for fun as a quick exercise. But yeah, now I'm gonna go eat dinner and I'm gonna go crash to bed. Right, I've been 3.5 hours. I think that's way more than enough. It's way past the hour mark, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And if you watch this on YouTube, hey, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Cheers.